Are you sick of seeing Toyota Hiluxes and Ford Rangers on every single Australian corner? Well, there's a new player in town that's looking to take a large bite out of this lucrative 4x4 ute market, and it's got something no other competitor can match right now. This is the BYD Shark 6, and it's got enough space to accommodate an entire family. It can tow a small boat, and there's plenty of room in the tray for toolboxes, but it's also a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, promising a more smooth driving experience as well as better efficiency than its diesel-powered rivals. So let's see if this Shark is more Jaws than Baby Shark. Now, keep in mind, this is a pre-production vehicle and we're still missing key details like pricing and full specification for the Shark 6. But this is going to offer us a little taster or a sample of what BYD and its Shark 6 has to offer. As background, the Shark is electric car specialist BYD's first ever ute, and it's entering a segment that is dominated by the likes of Toyota, Ford, Isuzu, Mazda, Nissan and more.
In fact, the 4x4 ute market accounts for about 17% of all new car sales so far in 2024. Or, to put it another way, more than 1 in 6 cars sold in Australia this year have been in these types of vehicles.
It's little wonder then that BYD wants a slice of this booming market, but it's putting its own twist on the formula and differentiating the Shark against its competitors. Whereas top sellers in the segment are dominated by diesel power, the BYD Shark has a small 1.5 litre turbo petrol engine, augmented by not one, but 2 electric motors. There's also a 29.6 kilowatt hour battery in there, which can be charged by plugging it in or with that petrol engine. But what does all this actually mean? Well, combining this petrol engine with those front and rear electric motors means a combined output of 321 kilowatts and 650 newton meters, making this the most powerful car of this shape and size. It even outmuscles that top spec Ford Ranger Raptor. The 0 to 100 km/h acceleration time takes just 5.7 seconds, also making it quicker than Ford's flagship ute, not to mention all those other diesel-powered models from Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi and more. And it's not just about pace either. Remember that large battery pack I mentioned? Well, it allows a claimed driving range of up to 100 kilometers on electric-only power, though keep in mind that figure is to testing standards. In the real world, you could probably expect around 70 kilometers or so of tailpipe emissions-free driving, but either way, that should be plenty enough for your daily commute. And if you want to travel a bit further on the weekend, maybe to the holiday house or to the beach, well, combining that battery pack and electric motors with the petrol engine will enable a combined driving range of about 800 kilometers. And if that's all sounding good to you so far, know that the BYD Shark does fall short in one key area that might be a deal breaker for some. Whereas the segment standard 3.5 ton brake towing capacity can be found across the Rangers and Hiluxes and Tritons, the BYD Shark will tow only a maximum of 2.5 tons.
And if you tow a small trailer or jet skis, that figure will probably be enough. But anything bigger and you might exceed the towing limit. But if that towing capacity isn't enough for your use case, you can browse the dozens of other dual cab utes on the Drive marketplace that feature 3.5 ton towing capacity, including the Ford Ranger, Toyota Hilux, Nissan Navara, and more. One of the most important things for a ute, however, is the size of the tray, and it looks like BYD has nailed this aspect too. The dimensions are 1,520mm long, 1,500mm wide, and 517mm deep, and there is enough capacity here to accommodate 1,200 litres of volume. This means that the Shark's tray is actually shorter than most dual cab ute rivals like the Ranger and Hilux, but there is still enough space to fit a full-sized pallet. Keep in mind that payload capacity in the Shark is only 790 kilograms, down from the close to 1 ton payload offered by others. But with double wishbone rear suspension, concessions have to be made somewhere.
Style and space are one thing, but dual cab utes are so popular because they also accommodate families and co-workers. And I'm happy to report in the back seat of the BYD Shark, well, there's plenty of head, leg and shoulder space to get comfortable even for my 185 centimeter tall frame.
Look, like all dual cab utes, the back seats in the Shark are a little firm and the amenities are a little lacking, but passengers back here should be grateful just to be getting a lift, right?
Up front, the Shark is all BYD, and it's headlined by BYD's signature rotating infotainment touchscreen that can be orientated in landscape or portrait modes.
That screen measures 15.6 inches and has functionality for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth streaming and inbuilt satellite navigation, by the way.
BYD has also tried to toughen things up in here with a really chunky shifter and substantially sized switchgear, but there are touches of luxury in here too, because everything is covered in leather. From the seats to the door cards to the steering wheel, it's just got nice soft touch points.
BYD's tech prowess is also on full display thanks to a large and crisp digital instrument cluster, as well as safety systems that extend to autonomous emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, and traffic sign recognition.
Where BYD has to arguably win over customers the most, however, is in how the Shark drives. And if you didn't think a Shark could traverse rocky and rough terrain like this, well, get a load of this. And the biggest difference between a Shark and something like a Toyota Hilux and Ford Ranger is most evident in its powertrain. Whereas those cars offer a gruff and grumbly diesel engine, the plug-in hybrid powertrain in the Shark feels quiet, smooth, and even refined. When you're driving something big, boxy, and brash like a Ute, there's just an expectation of engine noise. But in the Shark 6, when driving on electric power, it's just surreal that everything is way quieter. It's different for sure, but a welcome change nonetheless.
When that petrol engine does kick in, you will notice the revs climb, but because of the way this hybrid system is set up, you don't lose that instant torque and propelling forward remains effortless.
And look, to be honest with you, the Shark 6 doesn't have the usual off-road features that you would expect, like a locking differential and four-wheel high and four-wheel low modes.
Instead, the Shark features an intelligent all-wheel drive system that can send torque to the wheels with the most grip to keep you charging onwards. There are also various off-road modes such as mud, sand, and gravel that can tweak the system depending on conditions. Outside of that, the Shark also features a full-size spare and a 700mm weighting depth. The added weight of the battery and electric motors can certainly be felt as you rock around cracks and crevices, but there's enough clearance and underbody protection here where the Shark will eat up rough terrain like this. Does the Shark feel good to drive on rough tracks like this? Well, I'll reserve my final judgment for when the car is launched, but travelling on rough roads in this new Ute does feel different. It's not as mechanical or analog as something like a Ranger with its locking differential and grunty diesel engine, but that doesn't mean the Shark isn't capable.
Look, it's not unusual for a 4x4 Ute to be able to tackle tough terrain like this, but it is an oddity for a plug-in hybrid to be able to do this.
Of course, the caveat is that I've not tested the Shark on public roads to find out for sure, so be sure to like and subscribe to see a full video review coming in the next few months.
Now, the biggest piece of the puzzle to fill in is going to be the price. At the time of filming, BYD Australia has not revealed exactly how much a Shark 6 will cost, but given the brand's track record of offering well-equipped models at low prices compared to big-name rivals, well, the Shark 6 could be a bit of a bargain. I've heard that BYD Australia is aiming to get this car in at under $60,000 before on-road costs, putting it on par with mid-tier rivals from Toyota, Ford, Mitsubishi, and Nissan.
But the biggest ace up the Shark sleeve is that it offers a cutting-edge powertrain that can't be matched in this class at any price, yet. If BYD can bring this car under $60,000, well, it's close to the asking price of the cheapest Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, which isn't as capable or flexible in its use case as the Shark, and quite frankly, not as cool.
BYD has long believed it can challenge even the biggest name car brands in Australia. And while models like the Atto 3, the Seal, the C-Line 6 have been solid choices so far, it's lacked a real headline stealer. Until now, that is. Because this Shark 6 is exactly what the brand needs to shake up the dual cab Ute market. It's quiet, it's capable, it's confident, and it's a declaration of intent at exactly what BYD can offer in Australia. And to answer my earlier question, is this Shark more Jaws than Baby Shark? Well, it's a bit of both, because it's a blockbuster model that will have lines queued out the door, and after you drive this thing, it's going to be stuck in your head for a long time to come.
But if you're sick of seeing off-road videos with the same models such as Rangers, Patrols, and Hiluxes, well, if you click on the link up above, you can check out Sam Purcell's review of the Ineos Grenadier.